All right, everyone. Welcome back to another cast here with Beef, joined once again by Snow. Shay, we actually just casted a different game with one of these players. Pretty exciting game there on Metalopolis. And how are you feeling about casting the Zerg once again?
I'm excited. I mean, we saw Shibby do some really interesting things last time with Nidus, played Hydras. It was totally exciting, and another ZVT, so very interested to see how he goes about this one, which is a longer game than last time, so all the more opportunities for insanity.
Yeah. So right now, we do have spawning in the 7 o'clock position. We have VYEShibbxyz.
Who is, of course, played by at the cross position, facing OscarMike, the Red Terran.
Yeah, and we are here on Shattered Temple. So this is a little bit older of a replay. This is going to be on the ladder. So this is at least a week old. We're now into Season 7, and this was actually the map that was removed from the ladder rotation. Zerg had a really hard time on this map because taking a third is really difficult with rocks there at the exposed gold position and rocks blocking your natural third. It's just really difficult. With Zerglings only, it's a real bung, as it were, to try to break down those rocks.
You know, Oscar is just dropping his drops refinery at 14, so he's going a little bit later, perhaps taking advantage of the kind of larger map size here.
Yeah. And this is actually this is all spawns enabled, so these players don't know where they are just yet. We did have Shibby checking the close by air position with his overlord, knows that it's not there, and the other overlord's going to be going to close by ground position, but he's not going to find him there either. He's in cross, which is the most favorable position for our Zerg player. And
so he's actually opting for 2 Marines here. He's not going 1 Marine reactor, which is a little more orthodox.
Sure. Back at home for Shibby, we do actually see the same build that we had come out of him last time. We had a 14 pool, 17 hatch, 17 gas, and 18 roach warren, which is something really weird. We saw it be pretty effective last game at denying map control from from Hellions, with reactor fast Hellions being a pretty standard opening against Zerg these days, and roaches being pretty effective.
We do have a factory down and reactor going down, so presumably there will be some Hellions joining these Marines that are sort of wandering on the map right now.
Yeah, the Marines actually were poking into the natural of Shibby's, along with that SCV. They were going to try to do a little bit of bunker harass, but that didn't end up working out too well. We do see the factory waiting for the reactor to complete there. This build doesn't seem to be too timed out by our Terran players, screwing up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, this is a little bit closer to that 17 expand I was mentioning, but he did go at 15, so again, bore the awkward few seconds there.
Sure, definitely. And so we do see Shibby's moving across the map with 2 Zerglings and 3 Roaches, going to be able to try to put any pressure on a command center that might have been dropped on the low ground, but he's going to get there and see that it's not there. Now he's just going to poke his head up with those Roaches, see what he can see up on the high ground.
Oh, and he did trap those 2 Hellions.
Oh, that was
got one of them snow and half-life. Not what you like to have happen to you as a Terran player.
No, yeah, those Hellions popping out just at the wrong time. Not really.
This is really
Marines into the best position, and he is going to lose.
No, and he's now just bringing his workers over. He's definitely going to lose that depot. Should have pulled those quite a bit earlier, and he's really actually in a little bit of trouble right now.
Well, at the same time, there is a Hellion in the main base of Shibby's, but once again, no micro whatsoever, and that Hellion does fall to just those 2 queens, not taking a single worker. The Roach eventually going to fall to the Marauder, 2 Hellions and 2 Marines. Get that supply depot back up for the wall, but at the same time, the expansion has been built in the base and is now morphing into an orbital command for our Terran players. So I would say that overall that was probably a wash. The economy definitely going to be a little bit stronger from our Zerg player for the time being, but once that orbital command floats down to the natural and starts dropping mules, the economies are going to even up pretty well.
We have 4 Hellions moving out across the map now, and Stim is about halfway down. Interesting to get Stim before Concussive when there's no starport yet, dropping to second barracks now. You'd think with those roaches on the map you would want to get Castell a little bit earlier, but... And he actually hears the starport now, so that makes more sense.
Yeah, sure. Looks like we could have something like early drop play coming out. Not too early, as it's already 7 minutes. The first medevacs are going to be able to hit about 9:30, including transit time. Hellions are going to be trying to get in there, do a little bit of map control, just poking slightly at those queens, with the queen smart to not chase. Shibby's doing a pretty good job with his creep spread overall. Trying to get the creep spread up on the high ground a little bit. That's the safest way to go ahead and do it. But those Hellions really not playing it too close to the creep, and I don't really know why. They're not really in too much danger off of that creep. The Zerglings are still slow. Speed's going to be finishing up for them in about 20 seconds.
Yeah, I guess especially we have a 4 meta ball kicks in. It's really a lot of fun actually to go to those Zerglings. So again, just sitting at the Zelnog and not. Maybe he just wants to know if there's a roach push, but or a run by possibly.
And we do see in the main of our Terran player, the Overlord going in for the 9-minute scout. What did he see? He actually saw pretty much nothing. He saw the newest barracks. He did see the factory that had been moved. So previously he had seen that the factory was in a different position. And so I would assume that he knows that there's a starport coming. The Zerg has taken all that time to actually break down the rocks using his roaches and his Zerglings, and will be now breaking down the rocks at the gold, but he's taken his natural third for the time being. Bunker being placed on the low ground from our Terran player, trying to make sure to defend. Kind of odd. You typically don't see bunkers going down when you're pushing out at the same time.
Yeah, I agree. Certainly still a little bit. And there's, like you said, there's looks like a Hellion drop's going to happen, and now there's a little bio army sitting at the Zelnaga.
Yeah, that's a little bit more typical, with something slightly less mobile. The bio army sitting at the Zelnaga, not a big deal. But that...
now, Shibby's Overlord did just catch that drop, and the other one clearly sees it, so it'll be interesting to know if he actually noticed it.
So, but look at that. At the same time that that Hellion drop's going on, the bio army is going to be moving onto the creep. I'd like to see a scan start taking out these tumors. If he does not take out those tumors, he's going to be in pretty dangerous territory as soon as that army comes back. There's a lot of banelings. Fighting banelings on creep is not a good idea for Terran.
So he's definitely he's a nice pickup on his Hellions there, but at the same time he decided also to pull his whole army out. Not wanting any of that. He is now going to have to actually stim to get out of there and still going to take a few losses.
Yeah, nothing too much, but tons of banelings going down right now. Let's see what the vision situation. He doesn't know what the wall situation is for the low ground, but it's actually pretty favorable for a baneling bust. Nothing but supply depots and one bunker in the front. We have our Terran pre-spreading his Marines, which is what you want to do against something like this, but the Zerg actually being a little bit hesitant.
He did bait a stint there, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, he's waiting for that second wave of baneling. Baneling's going to go crashing in there, not quite able to take out that bunker just yet, and I don't think this is going to happen. All those banelings going into supply depots and bunkers is not enough to clean up the bio wall. Second wave of banelings is coming in. Two of them go crashing onto one SCV. The other ones are cleaned up by the
Very nice work.
And yeah, Terran with a nice hold there. Without roach speed, these roaches will be chased down by the Fireball army. He should actually be just turning around and fighting, but he's going to continue running for now. Big scan.
There's the scan.
Them to try to make this creep receive. The creep actually falls at a pretty short pace. Going to be coming in for a big flank from behind here.
Oh, that's a lot of bane. Oh, really nice flank. Really nice.
Yeah, one
that does ultimately connect. But
yeah, goes ahead and picks on up those units and gets on out of there. Zerg is now actually researching +2 ground armor. Same thing that we saw last game. Oh, big drop coming in with 6 Marines into the main. The Queen is going to be taking some pretty heavy fire, or the Queen is firing pretty heavily onto the medevac. And yeah, that medevac is going to be going down momentarily. No! And yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to get it.
And you can see that
we do have tanks now coming out without siege, though.
Yeah. The Queen actually with 75 energy, falling pretty far behind on injects. I've noticed that all game he's been missing some injects. And once again here, the Zerg is dropping an infestation pit and a Hydralisk den at the same time. We just casted a different ZVT, and he made some pretty good use of Hydras in that one as well.
That's definitely a fair. And dropping 3 spines along the perimeter of the base just as
Yeah, we do
ward off any further drop.
We do have a drop coming in along the right side of the map, now at about the 5 o'clock position, going to be heading into the Zerg's third, and we'll see how the Zerg reacts. His units are pretty far out of position, clear away across the map right now. He does see this drop as it comes in. Big stim on the Marines. All that's here right now is just 2 spine crawlers and the Queen. The units are still so far away, and he's going to be able to focus down this hatchery.
Yeah, certainly.
Oh, stay on the hatchery.
He's going to have to hit that second stim. Yep, he's got.
So even if he loses every one of those Marines, which he only lost 7, that was most certainly worth it to take out that Queen, take out a couple of drones, and that hatchery. Definitely worth it. So we can see...
He's also now cleared his rocks and dropping an expo to gold.
Yep, gold has been taken. Kind of interesting that the units were mining from command center that wasn't in an optimal position, and when he lifted it off, he actually had all the workers go back to the natural to return their resources. Quite a bit of lost mining time there on something that could be considered a pretty significant screw-up. Zerg's moving out right now with the Zergling, Baneling, Roach, Hydra composition. Pathogen gland's going to be finishing up in about another 30 seconds here. He's going to start producing infestors right now, and they will come out with that research. But once again, a drop at the third. See if he can take out this hatchery again. And he's going to have to pick up, but those medevacs are not going to get out of there without taking some losses. Hydra's just going to have such long range, and... oh, the one important...
And he's lucky that the creep ended there. You see a lot of tank production over there. He's got 3 Q and about 5 or 6 on the field. Tank research is now finished, and his +2 attack is just about done, or about halfway done. So
yeah,
we may be gearing up for a little bit of a nasty push here.
Zerglings are going to scout the drop coming in about the 8 o'clock position right now. They're going to go back to try to keep on working at the rocks at the Terran's natural third. However, the Terran doesn't have a base there yet, so that's not really too important. Tank's going to take a couple shots. Drop coming in at the Zerg's main now. Only 6 Marines. We'll see how this goes, but there is going to be an engagement right here. Roaches and Hydras pushing into the Terran army, but this is not a favorable engagement for our Zerg.
No, I mean, he does get a couple tanks, get some Marines, but he's really in the line of fire for 3 of those tanks the whole time.
Yeah, and the Zerg was down by about 40 supply going into that, and finishes at about 40 supply down as well. Being on 4 bases means that he can trade, but with that Terran having the gold, his economy is just absolutely gigantic. And the Terran can really afford to reproduce, where the Zerg is really gas-starved at this point and really can't afford to reproduce some of those high gas units, such as Hydralisks.
Interestingly, at Mike's Rich, he has opted to do only 5 gas harvesters as opposed to 6.
Certainly. So another big drop coming on over here at the Zerg's third. Zerglings are going to clean this up with the assistance of a Spine Crawler and a Hydralisk. However, there were a few drones picked up, but not too many. Back at the main, the drop that we had referenced before did get cleaned up by a Queen, a couple of Zerglings, a couple Spines, and 2 fungal growths.
And the 4th CC is now being built just outside that supply depot wall, and he is now moving out with a force of Marines, tanks, and medevacs with a couple Marauders.
Yeah, this looks like a pretty scary push. Fortunately for the Zerg, there's quite a bit of creep here. This is going to buy him some time, get those Banelings morphing. You can see 21 Banelings in production right now.
There's a fungal.
Speed. Yeah, big fungal there, but with medevacs, that's going to be pretty inefficient because it doesn't have any damage behind it. Yeah, Baneling speed is completed, and there's going to be a lot of units coming in right here. And the Zerg is going to be moving in here. Baneling's going to be connecting on Marines, doing pretty dang well, but there was a nice split from the Terran beforehand. Infestors not really going to be doing a whole lot, not making use of their fungals. There goes some infested Terrans. Zergling's going to be coming in for the right side, clean up all the siege tanks, and the infestors